I want to talk about having your head on a swivel. Actually, that's a lacrosse term. We used to teach defensemen in particular that you had to have your head on a swivel, constantly looking around, seeing where the lacrosse ball was, who was passing to who was the open shooter, who had the best shot. Well, I want to take it in another direction. I live in downtown Philadelphia, and during the COVID-19 siege, I get my exercise by biking around the city. In quote-unquote normal times, the traffic would be far too heavy to allow this. The streets, of course, are more empty now, at any time of day. Still, biking in the city is a risky proposition, even with the greatly reduced traffic flow, and with many of the streets that have designated cycling lanes. I still have had numerous near hits. In fact, almost every time I go out for a ride, it seems, at least I have one close call. Could be trying to get around a double-parked UPS truck, a car exiting a CVS parking lot that I don't see because cars and trucks are parked on the street. Someone runs a yellow or red light. Someone suddenly turns into a side street, forcing me up on the sidewalk. Or maybe my tires get caught in trolley tracks, threatening to throw me off. One of those accordion double buses may make a wide turn and I'm back up on the sidewalk. Speaking of sidewalks, there's miles of sidewalk trails in Philadelphia's Fairmount Park. The trouble is, on sunny days, the trails are clogged with a parade of runners, skateboarders, cyclists, baby strollers, folks out to have a leisurely walk. I've probably nearly hit all of them at one time or the other, yelling, "On your left, coming on your left." Sometimes you're forced on the grass, other times you just have to come to a stop, put the brakes on. Now, why do I take these risks? Well, the empty streets beckon. It's fun breezing through intersections normally gridlocked. And I am mindful of the risks. My head is always on a swivel. You concentrate. You don't just cruise. I'm always looking left, right, over my shoulder, who's coming up from behind. I'm looking ahead a few blocks for construction cones, police cars blocking off an emergency, double-parked vehicles. Lots of folks like to cycle or run or walk with headphones or earbuds, listening to music, not me. I prefer situational awareness, mindfulness. Have I learned from close calls? Yes and no. I'll stop for traffic more instead of trying to zoom in and out. I'll stop for slower movers on trails rather than trying to brush past them. I concentrate more, ride on autopilot less, but the sheer number of hazards and exposure to potential accidents mean I'm always riding into something unpredictable, an obstacle or barrier or situation I haven't come across before. You've got to be aware. Alert, mindful, head on a swivel. Still, there's an element of randomness and unpredictability. Biking in a city will always be risky. More than one person has warned me that. For me, it's an elective risk. It's a form of exercise. I'll be tolerant of the risk. It's not a job. No one's forcing me on the streets. It's a matter of, like I said, risk tolerance. I'll take the risk while the city sleeps during the pandemic lockdown. When life returns to normal, as it's starting to, thankfully, and the traffic is 10 times what it has been, I'll be a lot less adventuresome then. I'll still have my head on a swivel.